Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
It's 11:03 on Edmonton Sports Talk. Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Huss. Pat Gregoire is going to pop by a little bit later on today as well. We will talk a little bit of golf a little bit later on. Sorry, Tommy, I'm a little loud. There's a lot of people out there. I always very loud. I have to close the doors. The construction people next door are like, man, who's so loud over there? Calm down. You've been banging and hammering and sawing away since 6 o'clock this morning. We're gonna have to have a few words with the construction company across the hallway. A little frustrating today. We got lots going on. Hey, Huss, there he is. What's going on, buddy? How you doing, man?
What are the constructors building? A big a CEO throne?
Wouldn't that be, yeah. You know what's funny? I love that idea of we've all been complaining about the renovations across the hallway, and they're putting in new flooring, and they're obviously doing a bunch of work over there. And like even I'm complaining with everybody else. And then when the job's done, I'm like, okay, guys, yeah, my office is over there now, so you can come on down the hallway and see me book an appointment. That'd be funny.
Big grandiose throne for this CEO's office for making it all happen there at EST. No, I'm good. How are you?
We're doing good, man. Obviously, Oilers rookie camp begins today. Or are the Jets rookies also reporting?
Yep. They're getting ready to head out to Penticton. Have you guys been crushing some rookie line combos yet?
No, we're not that hardcore. But as soon as they're on the ice, yes, we will. Who is Matt Savoy going to be playing with? We'll get into all that fun stuff, obviously.
Savoy, on Savoy for a minute. We know him very well for starting with the ice for those couple years before they left, and obviously he bounced around and then ended up in MJ last year. I'm really interested to see his camp with the Edmonton Oilers. He's a player that was, he was a top 10 pick. He was very strange because he went first to the Sabres, and then the following year, Zach Benson went first to the Sabres, and they, of course, were the two top players for the ice for a number of years. And Zach sort of jumped Savoy and ended up playing in the NHL last year while Matt stuck around. He, ever since those offer sheets and those two players left, I think all of a sudden the window for Savoy to potentially get a crack to show that he can be a regular NHLer opened up quite wider. Let's just say that salary will be very attractive to Stan Bowman when putting together that roster. So obviously the Jets will be out there, the Oilers will be out there. We'll be paying attention to our guys, but there'll be a lot of people in Winnipeg seeing how Matt Savoy does through that tournament and in training camp. And I'm intrigued to see what he can do in the preseason and how things go for him.
He's pretty much the only guy that we think could have a chance at making the team out of camp. It's funny, Dylan Holloway the last 2 years has maybe been the most impressive Oiler in training camp. And then, regular season starts a little bit of a different beast, so I don't read too much into camp, but it's probably Savoy, a couple other decent prospects, but I don't think anybody's going to push for a spot on the team. What's it like in Winnipeg, Huss? Are there a few spots for some young guys, or are they pretty much all wrapped up already?
Well, yeah, no, listen, Brendan Dillon's gone and Nate Schmidt's gone on the blue line. And Schmidt did not play regularly, but Brendan Dillon is, a top 4 player that is out. And then if you think about the way the Jets looked in the playoffs, Sean Monahan and Tyler Toffoli were both there in the top 6. Now, there are some candidates that could potentially move up. The huge question mark is who's going to be the second line center with Monahan gone. Vladimir Metsnikov can do that job and has done it in the past. But I think the real intrigue when it comes to young players is Brad Lambert, who played center all last year with the Moose, was on the AHL's all-rookie team. He'll be ready to press for a job. And then, of course, Cole Perfetti. And the whole Perfetti thing, first of all, he needs a contract. Now, we just heard from him today. He's down at the NHL, the car wash for the media tour for all the players. He's representing the Jets. So the fact that he's there representing the Jets without a contract, I think tells you that things are close. So that's good. He started the season last year for the first 3 games at center, and then Rick Bowness said enough of that experiment. So I'm not sure whether he gets another crack or Brad Lambert does. And, of course, Braden Yeager, who they just acquired for Rutger McGroarty. I think he's most likely going back to junior for another year, but all of those players are going to be getting close attention. Obviously, Perfetti won't be at the Young Stars tournament. He's a bona fide NHLer right now. But once we get to training camp, there will be a lot of intrigue about, who's fitting in on that second line. And then on the blue line, Ville Heinola Is he going to be a regular finally after so much waiting, making the team and then getting injured in the final preseason game last year? As well as a couple of the other depth signees in the offseason. And Elias Salmonson, who's coming in on the right side of the blue line, probably plays Moose at least to start off, but he's going to be there too. So it will be an interesting training camp, a little different than we've had here in Winnipeg for the last couple seasons.
Well, it's funny we're talking hockey today because we're going to dive into some NHL futures. A lot of point props have already been posted today. We were talking about it on the Nielson show earlier this morning. Also, something else we did on the Nielson show this morning, Huss, is we took an NFL wheel and we spun it to build a 3-game parlay for the weekend. We just spun a random wheel on the show this morning, and then we had to choose with the team that we got if we were going to take the spread or just straight up money line. And what's funny is that the parlay we actually built on the wheel is paying less than the one that we constructed as our early bird special just the day before. Like, it's actually technically got a better chance to hit than the one we put together the day before. It's what do we end up with? I tried to fade the first pick, because the first thing we spun was Falcons plus 6.5. And I was just like, oh my God. But so we're on the Falcons plus 6.5, the Bucks plus 7.5, which we were also on the early bird special. And then the Jets on the money line. That's the wheel of destiny that we spun this morning. Those are the 3 plays. Pays like plus 515. It's already up over at Coolbet. So if you want to ride with something completely random and just see how it goes, which I don't think is the craziest idea in the world. We were talking about this morning. Coolbet's got their combo generator that they've got over at coolbet.com. You go in, select the combo. They just randomize a combo bet for you. I want that, but you can designate leagues. So you can just go in and be like, yeah, I want a 3-game combo just in the National Hockey League tonight. Boom, give it to me. And then just run with it.
Combo. Just get the wheel. Get the wheel of destiny.
Yeah, I've ordered a wheel actually for the desks too. It's a bit of a smaller one. It's an 18-incher, so it'll probably be about this high. And we're going to use that to do some random stuff too. But we found a thing online today. I can't remember what the website was, but it already had all the NFL teams on it, and you just had to spin the wheel. It was perfect. So now we're going to be on the Falcons here. It's not a great matchup. They get the Eagles. It's the Monday nighter, but it'll be something on Monday if the first 2 random picks hit. And on Monday we're sitting on the Nielson show being like, tonight's the night. The Falcons have to deliver plus 6.5 against the Eagles. So, well,
listen, having the Monday nighter as part of that isn't the worst thing, because if you do get the first 2 in,
you're hedging already,
and you're really worried that that the wheel of destiny was very much off when it picked the Falcons.
Yeah,
you can go bet the other side and keep yourself in a good spot. Hey, you mentioned hockey, and there's all sorts of hockey futures right now. The hockey future I care the most about is the one that Jake just sort of mentioned. Oh, by the way, it's up today. 4 Nations futures.
Who doesn't love some 4 Nations?
We probably really aren't going to be talking about this until November, December, but we probably should be. I mean, it has been so long since we've had legitimate best on best. And I don't care that the Russians aren't there. I don't care that this is only 4 teams. The thought of Sid and Crosby and Bedard all playing together. I mean, the U.S. team is unreal. This is going to be so much fun.
Where is it? I'm trying to find the odds. Where are they?
You got to go to futures. Just click on NHL futures, and then at the top you'll see it goes NHL 4 Nations face-off International Champions Hockey. It's right next to. It's like above NHL on that little column. There's like the different leagues.
Yeah.
You'll see it. Like if you click on season bets, you just have to go above, like right to the top, underneath the search bar, and it'll say 4 Nations face off. It's the second.
Oh, okay.
Thing there. And this is the way it looks, folks. Canada is the favorite at plus 145. The USA second at plus 175. And then pretty big numbers on Sweden and Finland, to be honest. Sweden plus 475, and the Finns are plus 650. I mean, I hope the bookies are right because Canada, USA playing for the final of the 4 Nations Cup, even though it's something brand new and there's no history to it or whatever, it'll be a lot like Canada Cup in the past. And there's a great rivalry between Canada and the USA. We see it at the World Juniors every year. We have not seen it amongst the best in the world. So this is going to be awesome. But are you surprised that Canada's a slight favorite? I mean,
what were the numbers again? I still can't find it for some reason. I mean, I'll find it here. Give me the numbers one more time, Huss.
Canada plus 145.
Okay.
USA plus 175. Sweden plus 475. Finland plus 650.
Sweden's that's too far down for Sweden.
Yeah, I get why Finland's the fourth.
Yeah, me
team.
too. Finland deserves to be the fourth ranked team. I would probably have Sweden somewhere up in that 2 range. I'd probably put Sweden at like a plus 250. Sweden usually brings pretty good teams to these types of events. Are you worried at all about the Canadian goaltending? Or is that team?
Yeah.
Or do we just look at that team and go, it's so damn stacked that you're like any average goaltender will probably be enough for you?
Definitely not.
No?
I mean, not when the competition. Look at how stacked the USA is, and then
It's gonna be a good team.
Look at who they have to pick in net. I mean, and who do they have? Hellebuck, Ottinger.
By far a better goaltending situation.
Oh my God! Their top 3 goalies probably all would start for Canada. Well, this is our annual thing. Who's going to be the starter for Canada? I mean, by the numbers, Binnington had the best season last year. I mean, Binnington is such a hot and cold individual. I do listen. If it was Jordan Binnington, I would be nervous. He's a guy that can get really hot, which is good, but he can also be terrible. Like Marc-Andre Fleury, Fleury's
no
sticking
chance.
around for one more year.
Stewie Skins, man. Stewie Skins. Stuart Skinner. Going between the pipes. He'll be one of those 3 goalies. I mean,
like that would scare the hell out of me. I'm just going to be straight up with you. I mean,
you oil hater. Unbelievable. On the Lock Shop, which airs live in Edmonton. I can't believe this slander.
Well, I'm just saying, listen, he's great, and he had a real strong season last year. They also had to go to Cam Talbot once, twice, just right off the bat in the playoffs. And the stakes are so high. Hey, listen, for guys like Skinner, though, I mean, let's face it, if you're the Oilers, you're basically looking ahead to the playoffs right now. I mean, this NHL season is so bloody long. We saw last year that they could be the worst team in the league for 2 months and still are good enough to turn it around, make the playoffs, and go all the way to Game 7 of the Cup final. But for a guy like Skinner, those first couple months of the season, I'm sure this will be on his mind. Playing well and trying to be on the team and then potentially be the guy. It shouldn't be open for a guy like him so early in his career. But the fact of the matter is, the door is wide open for a guy like Skinner or Binnington to, have a monster first couple months of the season and be the guy going in. That would make a lot of Canadians feel a lot better. I'll tell you that.
I'm looking at Sweden here, just as we look at value of this thing. I see Pat Gregoire over in the Nasty Chat saying, you might have to take my passport. I think I might bet the USA plus 175. Sweden is at plus 475, much closer to Finland than being in the same conversation as Canada and the US. And this is a Swedish possible lineup from July 6th. So going back to early part of the summer. Here's what they like. So between the pipes, you're looking at probably Linus Ullmark will be the starter, but you got Markstrom as well. Those would be the 2 guys you'd be looking at. Their blue line, the Swedish blue line, Rasmus Dahlin, Matthias Ekholm, Gustav Forsling, Victor Hedman, Adam Larsson, Erik Karlsson, Hampus Lindholm. Legit. As good as blue line as you're going to find. I mean, that's right up there with Canada and the U.S. blue line. The forward group I find somewhat interesting. Now, a lot of these guys have had quite a bit of production. It's just, when you're looking at the Connor McDavid and Nathan McKinnon on the same bloody team, Sweden's not going to be able to match up to that. But here's the 13 forwards they had for Sweden at the time of this article. Jesper Bratt, Leo Carlson, a young guy. Don't know how much he'll factor in just yet. William Eklund in San Jose. Joel Eriksson Ek, pretty good two-way guy. Philip Forsberg just had a nice season. William Carlson, Adrian Kempe, Elias Lindholm, Willie Nylander, Nyquist, Elias Pettersson, Lucas Raymond, and Zibanejad. So, I mean, that's I don't know. I feel like Sweden probably deserves a little bit more love. Put them at plus 300. That's where I'd probably go with it.
Listen, I think if you're looking for value, you could certainly make the argument about Sweden. I still think it's going to be Canada and the USA. And That is what the people want. That is what the people need.
It is what the people want.
Let the Swedes and Finns beat the hell out of each other. They've got that great rivalry. Give us Canada and the U.S. And let's remember where these lines are right now, because as we go through the season, these will be updated. And it'll be very interesting to see where they sort of move. Do we get closer to a pick'em? Does Canada become a bigger favorite? I would predict that we'll get closer to, for instance, plus 160, plus 160 on both of these sides once the season gets going. Maybe at the end, Canada on reputation will get that bit of a nudge. But anyways, it's going to be so much fun. And the conversations that guys like us are going to be able to have, talking about who should be on, who should be off, the weekly and monthly updates to what the roster should be, is sports talk heaven. And it's been way too damn long since we've been able to have these conversations. So
that is going to be fun. We're gonna have so much good. Who should be on McDavid's wing at this? In Edmonton, that's a month. We can do a full month every single day on who of the best Canadians in the world should be playing on Connor McDavid's wing. I love it. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Who's backing up Skinner this year?
Pickard.
Sorry, yeah. Did I say Cam Talbot? I meant Pickard.
Did you? I didn't even hear you say Talbot. I was wondering why we're seeing some.
That was and then what about Jack Campbell?
Jack Campbell is in Detroit.
They bought him out, and then
they bought him out. I'm pretty sure he's got like a league minimum deal in Detroit.
All right.
Yeah.
I hope Jack has a good season and stays in the NHL. That was it didn't end the way it was supposed to for old Jack with that nice juicy deal in Edmonton.
It didn't end the way for the Oilers that they wanted it to with Jack Campbell either. That's why I'm very impressed by Stuart Skinner. Like, Stuart Skinner was just now supposed to maybe be stealing that job from Jack Campbell. Instead, he was thrust into it as a number one 2 years ago as a rookie. And then last year, coming into the year, they were still hoping that Campbell was going to be able to turn around. They didn't. So Skinner's sort of just supposed to be arriving now as this guy. And he's already kind of been this guy for a couple of years. So I think that's probably helped the Oilers as they get ready for things right now. But yeah, I think he's gonna have a pretty good year. What do you think about McDavid? 133.5 points, Huss. That's the total. That's the number. That's where they've set it at Coolbet. Missed a few games last year, was banged up and had a very slow start, still finished with 132 points.
Yeah, I mean, come on. It's over. I mean, this is just a bet on can Connor McDavid stay healthy for 80 games.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to imagine. And now, listen, he has been hurt before. Guys do get hurt. I mean, we look at these numbers and go, well, I mean, how can we not hit the over? But the minute a guy misses 2 or 3 weeks, and this is what concerns me. If you're making that wager from an Oiler fan perspective, is that Edmonton in all likelihood is going to probably have every reason to give McDavid some time off. If he ever is nicked up, I think they err on the side of caution. I mean, how many games did he play last year if you include the playoffs? I mean, probably pushing 100.
Yeah.
And the idea is to do it again this year. So it wouldn't surprise me, actually, if he doesn't get to 82, even if there's not anything real serious. But he's just so damn good. I'm not betting under Connor McDavid. I'll tell you that much.
No, I don't think so. I think I said this morning, I said we got to smash this. Because I think he's gonna. You're right. It's simply just a bet if he stays healthy. If he stays healthy, he's gonna go over 133.5 points. Then what
like Aiden Daniels rushing total. I mean, if this guy plays the games,
we need half the season. We need half the season of Daniels. We're gonna cash that.
I wouldn't be surprised if he hits 1,000 yards rushing. And the number was 525.
Yeah.
I mean, if he plays 17 games. I think he can do it. And if that happens, that plus 550 on Offensive Rookie of the Year is right there, because I'll tell you, Caleb Williams he didn't jump out as
No, he did not.
looking like the second coming of Patrick Mahomes in game number 1. I think he'll get much better. Don't get me wrong, but as for right now, there's still a lot to be determined. Have you what games are you doing this week?
I am going to fly to Vancouver tomorrow for the Lions game, and then I am in Calgary on Saturday.
Okay,
for the
so you're doing
Stampeders.
2 of them.
It's back to back. I don't mind the 2 in a weekend when it's like a Thursday, Saturday, or Friday, Sunday. It's a lot prepping for back-to-back football games on back-to-back days. Like it's a lot. So and I'll have to fly game day morning to get to Calgary. I love the job, don't get me wrong, but as far as like executing the job, it's gonna be a quick turnaround for the Alouettes and the Stampeders on Saturday night.
Listen, you'll do fine. You'll knock it out of the park. Both games will be great. I'm more concerned about the best bets for the NFL. Are you in on Friday, or are we gonna have to?
No, I won't be in on Friday. I'll send picks along. Yeah, I'll send picks to you boys. I gotta have a bounce back week after week 1. It's as simple as that. I mean, if the wheel hits this week and it goes 3 for 3 and it hits a parlay, I got to at least go 3 for 4. My best bets of the week. Have to. So
well, I was looking at last year's picks, and as I mentioned, like the first couple weeks, I feel like I'm ahead of the game being 2-1-1. I mean,
that's really good for a start.
You know what? That's sort of the way it was. But I mean, the first couple of weeks were tougher, and then we really hit the groove. And you, I think, finished. Let me just pull this up. You finished last year on quite a heater, actually. You went. Yeah, you were 7-1 in week 17 and week 18.
Nobody nails spreads in weeks when some teams have mailed it in like me, Huss. Nobody. That is a strong finish, though. That's a hell of a stretch.
You know what our records were last year for our best bets? This was really good. You were right around 500, dropped off in week 16. You were 1-3 in week 16, and then finished 3-1 and 4-0 to finish 39, 31 and 2. Which is a very good percentage. I went 0-4 in week 17, which absolutely killed me. But I did come back with 3-1 in week 18 to finish 43 and 29, 14 games above 500.
Nice.
So that was, I think, my second best season ever of picking. So anyways, we've learned a lot in previous seasons. We've learned what we need to do in week 1. And now we focus in on Friday in the best bet show. And of course, tomorrow we do have Bills and Dolphins.
Did you say I went 39, 31 and 2? I had 2 pushes last year.
2 pushes.
Gross.
Well, the thing is, the minute a game is on, like, is not a half point.
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is, like, we're making these picks. You can always maybe, buy an extra half point or something, which sometimes we'll do. But when we're giving out the picks, we kind of have to take the number that is the number. Like, for instance, I had Seattle -6. We had it at 5.5 in the parlay, but you can't really give out 5.5 as the pick because it's probably juiced up to about -135, and it doesn't really reflect picking against the spread. So, hey, pushes are just fine. They're a lot better than losses.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I do like that. Tay texts into 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 says, hey, guys, what's the promo code for the lock shop to match my deposit at Coolbet? Hey, perfect. Excellent. Sign up right now. Lock shop. Probably could have guessed that. I do love that text. Hey, guys, what's the promo code for lock shop to match my deposit? The promo code is lock shop. So there you go. Use that. You get a 100% deposit bonus on your deposit up to $200. And I love this text too from Aiden O'Neill. Says, hey, Dusty, what time's your flight to Vancouver tomorrow? I'm flying to Vancouver tomorrow too. Actually, I'm driving to Calgary and flying out of Calgary just because in order to get back here, both my kids have hockey on Sunday. I want to be back for that. And like the flights just didn't work on the Sunday morning. So I'm going to be driving back after the Stamps game Saturday night. So I'm not technically flying out of Edmonton. Sorry, man. Maybe we'll pass each other in the air. That'd be kind of cool. Be a lot of fun. You can wave at me.
Maybe you arrive in Vancouver at the same time.
Oh, you never know. Coming in on 2 very close flights could make sense. But yeah, I'm out of Calgary at 4:00 for everybody who wants to creep.
Well, you can fire it a tweet. Take everyone along with you.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hey, so I want to get to this one. I do want to address this. Matt over in the Nasty Chat says, "Hey, Dusty, is CTV broadcasting every week through the Grey Cup? There will be a Saturday game on CTV, but the numbers I thought were kind of surprising us, and it was funny. I don't know. Did you see the ratings for this?
I just saw. Yeah, Dunk put something out.
Yeah, it came in like we were like around here around the office. We were thinking it was gonna be a huge number. Ended up coming in under 600K for the Banjo Bowl, and it's funny because I saw like that's less than the previous game did. Banjo Bowl is usually huge. It's less than the previous game did. It was on CTV, and now I'm seeing people like bitching about the game being on CTV. When for like the last 10 years, I've seen people complain that the games are only on TSN and they should put some on CTV. So I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it. I don't. It's weird.
Well, my first thought is that, I mean, listen, that's a crazy low number. Like the Bombers draw that automatically, like pretty much every time they play.
Yeah, Bombers are at least usually 600. At least 600 usually.
Never mind playing Saskatchewan, who has even bigger numbers. Listen, my theory is that people are so used to, for the last 15, 20 years, watching CFL football on TSN, that there was a lot of people that basically thought, oh, well, the Ottawa-Toronto game is the game on. And that they went there, they watched that. Oh, I guess that it's not. Like, I think there was, funny enough, an element of people not knowing that it was there, not being predetermined to go there to find it.
Yeah.
I would just love it. Do it like the Grey Cup, put it on both.
Yeah. I mean, that could be something that they eventually do with this. I have no idea where it's going, what it's happening, what they're accomplishing. I was a little curious about the number.
Something's up with that. Something's up with that.
It doesn't seem to make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
We all assumed that, okay, they'll get an extra $100,000. But I mean, the baseline for Rider Bomber games is a hell of a lot higher than the number that we got from CTV. So that was a strange one. I will say that.
It's a good experiment.
Hey, speaking of CFL for a minute.
Yeah.
So the Bombers are bringing in Jake Dolegala.
Yes.
Byron Scott. I put this out yesterday. This will be a big topic today on CFL 110. Like, from my perspective, you lose Strebler for the rest of the year, which really does suck. I mean, he is as good as there is when it comes to short yardage. He does add some other things. But he was the short yardage guy, but he was also basically the backup. And then they got this Teddy Wilson that's been hanging around. How do the Bombers not make a real push to acquire a legit experienced backup right now? Because if you believe, as I do, that it's coming down right now to BC or Winnipeg for first place, I think the Edmonton Elks are steamrolling into the playoffs, and I think they get that third spot. Well, Edmonton has MBT and Ford. BC has VA and Nathan Rourke, and Winnipeg is going to have Zach Caleros and whoever they just sign in and Teddy Wilson. Like, if Zach Caleros gets hurt, the Bombers are screwed, in my opinion.
It's true. You can't win a Grey Cup with Jake Dolegala, man. You just can't do it.
No, for sure. And I mean, this is such a good team that's turned around the way they have. Great defense, great special teams, great offensive weapons and players. I mean, would it not be worth seeing if Bo Levi might be down for coming to the Peg for a month at the end of the year? And if something happens, does Zach get in there? Jeremiah Masoli out of Ottawa. Although the thing, like, normally, why would Ottawa trade Masoli? It's just they have Crum as well, who has been in. But
yeah, that's true.
Like, to me, if I'm Kyle Walters, I'm like, okay, my goal has to be, if Zach Caleros goes down in a playoff game or cannot play, do we have a guy that can come in and win a football game against Edmonton or BC? I'm not sure that they have that right now outside of Zach Caleros. And that to me is a concern. Zach's already been knocked out and missed 2 games so far this season. Not getting any younger. Like
I don't want to drop a hot take on you here, but I don't know if Strevler would have been that guy either. Just to be honest with you, like
I'll be honest. I agree.
Yeah, I
agree with you on that.
Yeah,
I mean, they may have had to go to a totally different style of offense, which they did a couple times. Like I don't want to take too much out of the Labor Day game because he only threw the ball 6 times, but that was partly you're up by 15. You realize the situation you're in, ball control, field position, play good defense, do not turn the football over. It was a little different. I mean, when he came in the Calgary game earlier this year, he did lead the team on a touchdown drive with basically the entire field to put the game to overtime at the end. So we've seen it. But it doesn't even matter right now because Chris Strevler is not going to be there. So Brady Oliveira can handle the short yardage stuff. I mean, if they need to actually give the top running back a goal line carry or 2.
Yeah, he wouldn't mind a touchdown at some point. I was curious about that because, Strevler was such a short yardage guy, and lots of these teams have short yardage guys. I was like, I wonder if they put in a call to Calgary and try to get Tommy Stevens to at least come in and be an automatic short yardage guy. But if you're looking for a straight up backup, I mean, we were throwing around names today on our show this morning. Like, we were wondering whatever happened to Pigram. Is Pigram is he on a roster anywhere? Yeah, where's that guy? What's he up to?
He was on Ottawa, I believe, at the start.
I don't know if he's still kicking around there. I swear to God, one of the names that came up was Cornelius for short yardage. If you're just looking for short yardage, he was outstanding in short yardage situations last year in Edmonton. But if you're looking for a true backup that can help you still win if Collaros goes down, I mean, you're not getting that guy for nothing right now. You'd have to try to make a deal, and lots of teams probably still feel they're in it and they want to be in that spot, right? So,
well, that's you know what? That's what may have to happen. We have to wait. I was surprised at how late the trade deadline is. I mean, I think it's in early October.
So there's time.
Still 2 or 3 weeks. So, maybe the Ticats lose a couple more games. They're officially eliminated, and that would be, and again, I don't even know if Bo Levi would be down for that. I have a feeling he might prefer a TSN seat in front of a camera more than a sideline seat with a clipboard with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. All I know is this: look back to 2019. What did the Bombers do? They got Zach Collaros as some insurance at the deadline. He ended up having to play and went in and won the team the Grey Cup. I can't see how the Bombers can beat Edmonton or BC right now if Zach Collaros gets hurt. And that is something the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, with everything they've invested into this season, have to think about. So that'll certainly be a big topic that we'll have coming up on WST and CFL 110 today. For those of you in Edmonton, it'll be live about 2:15 your time, but you'll probably be checking out Hernan and the boys just when you're done. Check the podcast or jump on with us a little later on and get it at your pleasure, like Dusty, listening to it on his travels.
I do. It's my favorite thing to drive when I was like, so tomorrow, it's perfect. It always works for me because I'm usually traveling on Thursday. So as I'm driving to Calgary tomorrow, I'll be listening to CFL 110 for at least a part of it. That's for sure. Matt says, Hustler, are you out of Diet Pepsi? I'm shook. Are you drinking Mountain Dew? What is this? Are you me in grade 9? Are you drinking Mountain Dew right now?
Don't worry, I have a Diet Pepsi ready to go. But I was at Sev last night, and I often will just get the 2 for $5, and I'll have one, and I know I've got one in the chamber for locked up in the show. But I could not help but check this out. This Mountain Dew Spark Raspberry Lemonade. I think it was maybe just the pink color of it. It just looked really good. I got to say, this is like a 9 out of 10.
Whoa.
Like, this is not one of the things you could drink 10 of, but for kind of a nice change up, refreshing, summer-esque beverage, this was great. And I'll tell you what, not that I've mixed it with anything, but I'm very intrigued as to what this would be like with a couple shots of vodka and a ton of ice and a big mixer. But yes, the Mountain Dew Spark Raspberry Lemonade, great debut. Great debut for me. Never tried it before. Will go again.
All right, you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999. We'll get to more NHL futures as we work our way through September. CFL bets tomorrow, Thursday nighter tomorrow as well. The boys will set that up here on the Lock Shop. We mentioned it yesterday. We should do it one more time again. The poker series, the Lock Shop Poker Series, event number 2, locked and loaded for Tuesday, September 24th. All you have to do, for those of you who played in last time, you already know it was an absolutely phenomenal time, real good time. We're very excited to do it again. You just download the Coolbet poker software. Go to coolbet.com, download the poker software, search Lock Shop, register for the tournament. It's $30 Canadian, and that'll get you in, and hopefully we'll have another great time again. I'm looking to make a little bit of a deeper run. Last time, I was semi-focused on a live in-person fantasy draft as well. So it was tough trying to do 2 things at once. This time, all my focus. No excuses, Awanik. Oh, look at Awanik over here. Excuses. You tried doing an in-person draft. You know those types of drafts with Patty and stuff. They're a mess.
Full excuses.
So I'm trying to, I
was watching something. I had another thing going on my second laptop. I was doing other things and I still beat you.
Here's the thing.
Excuses.
You know what? Let's do this. I guarantee I will finish higher than you this time around because I will be fully focused on the tournament. But you want that side bet? Side bet.
We've got a side
Come at the
wager
champ.
action.
Champ's not afraid.
You finished 5th. You're not a champ.
Of EST, I'm absolutely the champ.
Now we're figuring out who champions are in like factions.
You did
and the
nothing.
No, ridiculous.
And Tommy did nothing, and Jay did nothing. And
I was doing 2 things.
I was watching multiple things. I was doing a lot of things. I want to go to bed. I still stayed up. Don't give me this.
I'm gonna be so much more focused than you. I'm gonna finish higher than you. I guarantee it.
Bring it.
Okay, it's on.
Bring it.
If you want to join in on this fun, download the Lock Shop Coolbet app and the Coolbet poker app and search Lock Shop and register for the tournament.
The beauty of this, people, is that you can actually impact the outcome.
Yes. Go after Matt.
Yeah, they're all going to come after me.
You can take out Dusty. You can take out Iwanic. And I get that bounty as well. They'll
all come after me, and I'll still take you down.
Why? Because you're the champ. Because you're the champ.
I still take you down. I could be the one everyone's coming after, and I'll still beat you.
Here's the other thing you have to realize that you didn't have to deal with last time, Maddie. You didn't have a bounty on your head last time.
Bring it.
This time you will. People are hungry for the bounty.
Bring it.
That's one of the reasons I think Huss and I got taken out.
There's a lot of shots. There was a lot of shots at us.
This is gonna be great. All right, let's bring in Pat, who's just sitting back, being like, God, what about? I don't know about this. I don't know about this poker series, man. It's already tearing ESC apart. I don't know about this.
No. Feed me the chaos. This is great. I love it. I absolutely love it. In a non-surprising revelation, the power, the greed, the ego has gotten to Matt Iwanic. He is Mr. Poker, and that's why we had to put a bounty on his head. I'm sorry.
Play with the big boys now, Matty. Play with the big boys.
You think he's cocky? You should talk to Remus, who finished second.
Oh my God! Do we
need to get a bounty on his head too?
100%.
I'll do it.
100%.
I don't think there's any. No, we need.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. Have one on Remus's head.
You should have seen. I saw Remo when I was in Friday at the baseball game. I got there the 4th inning. I don't even live there. I was on a flight. I didn't even unpack my bags. I dropped them off, turned around, went to the ball game. Remo rolls in with his wonderful wife on his arm. He's wearing this fancy gray shirt with the sleeves rolled up. The hair's all done. He's just a high roller since the tournament. It's unbelievable.
We were trying to figure out whether he would. I was laying odds to the guys before you got there as to whether he'd be wearing a collared shirt or not, because he wanted to come by because we had that suite and Connor and Liz were there. You were coming in. But he had to go to Wade Miller's Banjo Bowl party, as I mentioned to you before. It's like, whoa, do a lot of the media go to Banjo Bowl parties? Well, no. Remo's a +1. He was the +1 of his wife, who is a partner with Wade in one of the elite physiotherapies. So, but no, it was good to see him. Yeah, he's had a lot of excess confidence ever since the inaugural Lock Shop Poker Open. So
he wouldn't if you just started calling him +1 as his new nickname. That's a good one.
By the way, he also claims that once he got to heads up and knew that he had beaten everyone else.
Oh my God, he stopped trying.
Well, he didn't stop trying, but he played a little more reckless to do it. Would have cost him some money. But as they say, we absolutely have to have a bounty on his head.
Yeah.
And that's M. Remus, not the imposter M. Remus 69.
Not the fake Remus accounts. I can't believe somebody signed up for that tournament with a fake Remus account. That was too good.
A little rattled too. He goes, people are going to think it's me. I would never put something and then 69. Come on.
Such a beauty. My God.
The thing is I was calling a bunch of my friends. I'm like, you did this, didn't you? You're M. Remus 69, are you? And a few were laughing. Goes, I kind of wish I'd thought about that, but no, that's not me.
They're gonna get
someone owned up in the chat the next day.
I like the idea of about 20% of the team names in this just being really dirty Remus references. I think that would be hilarious. Oh boy! All right, P. Greggy. Hey, how bad a look is it going to be for us on the Nielsen show if our random wheel parlay hits and our other ones don't? What do you think about that?
It's definitely a tough look, I would say, but if it works,
it works, right? That's the thing.
Don't fix it. I think if this thing even comes close, I think we're running this thing back.
100%.
I mean, how many times have we heard that, someone was in the top 50 of the Circa contest because they, just spun a random wheel, or the Pardon My Take guys. Their most successful year of NFL picks was when Larry the Goldfish made their picks. We saw the monkey back in the day on TSN during the playoffs. Yeah. Let's be honest. If it's going to hand out winners, I don't care. I'll take the winners. I don't care what it is. It could be a wheel. It could be drawing names out of a hat. It could be an animal. I don't care. If it's producing winners, I'll take it.
Hey, here's the thought on how to incorporate the wheel, like for a lock shop, if we ever want to do that. Like, how when we'll make our best bets and we're, on Friday, here's all the things that we like. We need to take like the 2 or 3 games that no one wants to touch, that we don't have any feel for it.
Like a tiebreaker or something.
Yeah. And then that's random too.
And then we spin on the spread for the orphan games. And see if the wheel can help us out that way.
I've got another idea what we might have to do for like a Monday night primetime game. Put all the first touchdown scorer props onto a wheel.
Oh yeah.
Spin that, and then we all ride up. And we all ride on the same one.
The first touchdown scorer wheel of destiny. Yeah.
Yes.
I like
this wheel's got so much potential.
Oh yeah. And we found the wheel online, but then I also ordered a new wheel on Amazon, an in-person wheel. So we have it sitting right here, right on the desk, right next to me. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, look, it's Wednesday. I know it's not a huge tournament. It's the Procore Championship. But we got to throw out some golf picks. And, you mentioned this a little bit earlier in the week, Patty. There's some decent names at this event.
Yeah, it's because it's in Napa Valley. So I think a lot of the wives and the girlfriends of the PGA don't mind them going. It's a nice place to stay. The players, I think they enjoy it too. I know Max Homa, big wine guy. He's played pretty well at this place. So I know that's why it's a pretty popular spot in the fall. And then just historically with the President's Cup, not so much in Ryder Cup years, but definitely in President Cup years, we see a lot of the international players they'll decide to play in this tournament, especially if maybe they don't have as great of recent form. You'll see them kind of get the kinks out of the way and try to heat up. That's why we see Mac Hughes here. That's why Siwoo Kim is here. Corey Connors is here. So definitely a really good field, a really pretty good course as well. I think it definitely has the potential to be a birdie fest, but I definitely think there are some challenges, and the fact that it's pretty long and has pretty narrow fairways and there's a lot of water and different things on this course. There's a good chance that the straighter you hit it off the tee, the better that you're going to play here.
So who do you like then? If that's the key?
Well, there's a few keys that go into those two there. I think approach is always important, especially at this course here. Wedge players. But one thing that has really shown is that if you have played well here, and especially if you've won here, there's a good chance you could win again. So I hate doing this, going right to the top and betting the favorite, but Sahith Theegala, 10-1. I'm betting him here. He is arguably one of the best golfers in this, and he's coming off a great showing. The last time we saw him out at the Tour Championship. He came close to winning without strokes, and I think he's going to kind of keep that momentum going. And he was the defending champion. He is the defending champion. Last year, set the tournament record in scoring, 21 under, beat S.H. Kim by 2 strokes. And as I mentioned, this tournament does favor players that have done well. Brendan Steele won this in 2016, and then very next year, won it in 2017. Max Homa won it in 21, then won it in 22. So not only are we getting a really solid number as an outright favorite, it's still 10-1. It's not like we're talking about plus 750 or plus 800. We're getting him at 10-1. He actually opened this week at 12-1. I'm kind of pissed off. I didn't bet it earlier. So Theegala, 10-1. I'll take him. Talking about back-to-back champions, Max Homa, 22-1. Now he has really poor form coming in here. But I think with a few weeks off, I think with him going back to a place where he's had a lot of success, he's a Southern California native, he's dominated Silverado. Not only the back-to-back wins, but then last year he finished T7. This is a place where he knows it, plays well here. And as we've seen in Max's career, like if he plays well at a course and if he's feeling comfortable, that's where he plays his best golf. So I think I like Homa here at 22-1. 2 more guys that I like as well, a little bit further down the board. Kashmir Keith Mitchell, 33-1. He had 3 top 10 finishes this year, but somehow did not make the FedEx Cup playoffs. Even though like at the Wyndham, he finished T12, that was not good enough to push him into that playoff. But when you look at his strokes gained in a lot of those metrics, I have no idea how he was not in the playoff. It doesn't make sense. He's 14th on tour in stroke gain total, 6th in strokes gained off the tee, 6th in approach to the green, 15 in total driving, 14th in driving distance, and 7th in greens in regulation percentage. Now, where does the game go wrong for Kashmir Keith? It's the putter. He lost a 0.89 strokes with the flat stick this year. But in those 3 top 10 finishes, he's been able to kind of, not only want to say heat up, just be a average or slightly above average putter. If he is able to do that, there is no reason why this guy can't start off the fall season of the PGA Tour with a strong start. So I like him at 33-1. I probably will also play him to finish inside the top 20. Last, but certainly not least, Nick Taylor. And it was an unbelievable start to the season for Nick Taylor. He finished T7 at the Sony and then won the Waste Management in a playoff. Since then, though, it has been ugly. It has been dreadful. He hasn't finished inside the top 10 since winning the Phoenix Open at the start of the year. He's missed 5 of 9 cuts in his last starts. And most recently, something that probably has pissed him off the most is he was left off Team International for the President's Cup this year. A year ago, we were talking about this guy being the face of Golf Canada. He broke the drought.
3 months ago, he was a lock for the team. Literally, the second half of the season, he played his way
off a cliff,
completely off the thing.
And now you've got multiple Canadians, 3 Canadians on Team International. Mike Weir, the captain, and he can't even get a captain's pick. That's how bad he has been playing. So you're probably wondering, why the hell am I picking this guy? Well, at 66-1 in this field, if he's on his game, there's no way that he can't compete here. I also think the fact of the matter is, this is a guy that has a lot of pride. I think he is really, really pissed off he didn't make this team. Pissed off at himself, disappointed that he didn't get there. He is going to be playing this tournament motivated, but he's also been pretty damn good at this golf course as well. finished inside the top 10 3 times in his last 3 trips here. So I'll take him to win this thing at 66-1, but I also like him to finish inside the top 20, not even top 10, top 20 at plus 200.
You know, I like your Max Homa pick, not because he's done anything in the last few months. He's actually been dreadful, but I think Max has this has to be the tournament for Max to get back to feeling good about himself, have a great week, and get ready for the President's Cup. I mean, honestly, I'm like, I didn't go hard into this one at all. But when I'm looking at the board, all I'm thinking about is Montreal. Like, who are the guys that are extra motivated to be at their best, to be building and peaking for their spot on the world stage in the President's Cup? Max Homa, like that was a very controversial pick. I mean, Akshay got left home. He's been 10 times better than Max Homa in the last 3-4 months of the season. Now, great vibes guy, played very well at the Ryder Cup, has some experience, so he got the benefit of the doubt. And I think the guys absolutely love him. But I think Max has something to prove, and a win, ideally, or a great performance, I think would really put him in a little better standing going into this event. I'm going with a single bullet. I considered the Canadians, like Corey Connors, who's at 14, Mac Hughes is at 40, but I'm going with another member of the international team that I hope will get his game set for Montreal, and that is Min Woo Lee. Min Woo's had some nice performances this year. I mean, he was second at the Rocket Mortgage. This is probably a little bit better of a field than the Rocket Mortgage, but it's another one of those events that maybe doesn't have the super elites, the Rorys, the Scotties, the Xanders in it. So I think this is a nice little spot for Min Woo, and I think the way he's played so far this season, where he ranks amongst this group, 22-1, I think is a pretty fair number for Min Woo Lee. So I'm going single bullet on Min Woo, although now that I think about it, Max Homa might get a little sprinkle to see if he can get back to being the guy that's won here before and be ready to represent the Stars and Stripes in Montreal at the President's Cup.
And I just have a couple of quick ones. Don't hate Mac Hughes at 40-1. I was with Patty on Mitchell at 33-1. And then Wyndham Clark in his last non-5 majors, 4 top 10s and a T13. So he's done really well outside of those big mids. So this is set up very nicely for him at 11-1. We got like a minute before Huss has to go. What are we thinking for a parlay here, boys?
Well, if we got 2 of 3 on Kashmir Keith, we got 2 of 3 on Homa. Do we want to throw maybe one more in there and do some sort of top 20? I'm good with Mac Hughes. I like that. I don't mind Mac Hughes. I'm sure you guys don't want to touch Nick Taylor with a 10-foot pole. That's fine. I'll ride solo on that one.
I don't mind the Min Woo Lee. I mean, I don't mind that one.
Or Corey Connors.
Or Corey Connors, yeah.
Oof.
No, not Connors, Patty?
No, I do like Connors.
Oh.
I definitely do like Connors, but I like Min Woo as well.
Connors is minus 147. Min Woo's minus 110. What was the other one? Where's Mitchell?
We got Homa, Mitchell, Min Woo. What would that be, Huss?
Oh, okay. Plus 130, minus 118, and minus 110.
And what's Connor's number?
He's minus 140. We'd be going from minus 110 for Min Woo to Corey Connors minus 147.
Okay, so if we want a better number, go Min Woo. I think Connors this maybe would kind of fits his game a little better.
Like, if you ask me, like, I'm on Min Woo because I think that maybe he can blow up and win the tournament. But if you're asking me who I think I'd feel more confident with on a top 20, who's more consistent, I think it's Corey Connors, to be honest with you. So,
agreed.
Connors, Mitchell.
Connors, Mitchell, and Homa. Max Homa, top 20s.
Top 20s. Beautiful.
Perfect.
What's coming on? Yeah, go ahead, Patty.
I was just gonna say I've got my Greg East golf specials out there as well. So take a look, hit that tab. I've got 2 of them. I've got one because we also have Live Golf and we also have the Irish Open. So I kind of combined some of those there as well. So I've got there. So take a look. We don't have enough time. Hit that tab. You can see them there. Ride with me.
There's never enough time for golf, even when it's just this tournament. You know what I mean? It's tough. Let's have a good show today, boys. We'll talk to you later in the week.
You got it. Talk to you tomorrow, fellas.